Here we're going to be taking a look at the properties of rectangles, rhombus, and squares. We're going to start out by taking a look at the properties of rectangles. If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then it is a parallelogram. So we can put in our parallel marks. If the parallelogram is a rectangle, then its diagonals, both of these diagonals, are congruent to each other. So that's one of the ways to be able to tell. If I was working on a coordinate system, I could use the distance formula to find the length of the diagonals. And if the diagonals themselves are congruent to each other, then I know that that figure on the coordinate system is a rectangle. Now a rhombus, if a quadrilateral is a rhombus, then it is a parallelogram. So our opposite sides are congruent to each other. If the parallelogram is a rhombus, then these diagonals, if I was to put this onto a coordinate plane, they meet at 90 degrees. So this line has a slope of m, and this line has a slope of -1 over m. I could multiply both slopes together and get a -1. Also, these diagonals bisect each other. So we have ways on a coordinate system to be able to prove that a quadrilateral is a rhombus. Now, if a quadrilateral is a rhombus, we know the opposite sides are parallel. We know that the diagonals cut each other in half. But what happens if all of the angles are right angles? If all of the angles are right angles, then the diagonals are the same length. So we're able to wind up using the side angle side to prove congruence. All of these things are very related to each other. We start out by having quadrilaterals. After a quadrilateral, we could find that we have a parallelogram. Within the world of parallelograms, there are rectangles. Something I forgot to say on the rectangle is that all of those angles are right angles. So I'm going to go back, put it in as that note there. All of those are right angles. A rhombus says all four of the outsides are equal length. So if all four sides are equal length, but the angles don't have to be 90 degrees. If it meets the criteria of a rectangle and it meets the criteria of a rhombus, then it is a square. So these things break down into smaller and smaller categories and become a bit more specific about quadrilaterals, because we do have special quadrilaterals: rhombus, squares, and rectangles. Remember, math rocks with a capital M.